If you've ever wondered whether you should be journaling about your books on your iPad or your Kobo, I get it. I own both, I use both, and for a long time, I honestly couldn't tell you which one was actually better for this. So I decided to test it properly. Same book, same notes, written out 3 different ways. My iPad, a book journal PDF template loaded onto my Kobo, and then there's the Kobo's actual built-in notebook feature. So let's see which one actually deserves a spot in your reading routine. I started with my iPad because honestly, this is probably what most people default to. I opened up GoodNotes and wrote out my notes for Our Perfect Storm by Carly Fortune, the actual cover art, my handwriting, some color coding, the whole thing. And look, this is where the iPad just wins on flexibility. I can drop the book cover right into my page. I can add stickers if I want to. I can change colors if I want to. I can resize things and make it look exactly like my aesthetic. So if you're someone who wants your book journal to actually look like a scrapbook, the iPad's going to be pretty hard to beat. But, and this is a thing that no one really talks about, is this flexibility does come at a cost. I'm on a backlit screen in comparison to an e-reader, and I've got notifications just sitting one swipe away. And if I'm being truly honest with myself, a quick book note is going to turn into a 20-minute doom scroll before I even open up the GoodNotes app. Round 2, Kobo. So for round 2, I took that exact same empty template I used on my iPad, same layout, same spot for the cover, same everything, and I loaded it onto my Kobo to fill out with the stylus. And this was actually a really interesting middle ground. I still get that pretty structured layout. The cover's already placed for me because I exported it that way. The sections are already laid out. I just have to write. So visually, this one still looks like an actual book journal page, not just plain notes, but I'm doing it on the Kobo screen, which is that e-ink display. So I've already lost the backlight, lost the notifications, and I've lost the temptation to open literally anything else other than a book. So the trade-off here is that the PDF template is completely static. I can't move anything. I can't add anything that isn't already on the page. If I write too big or run out of room in a section, then that's it. I'm kind of stuck. So I did struggle a little bit writing on the Kobo because the spacing was a little small and I had to zoom in, and zooming in did not turn out to be a good idea. I felt like there was a lot of ghosting happening. I was jumping around a lot and I was just really struggling to write neatly, but I think that's a learning curve. If I spend a bit more time practicing writing on the screen on my Kobo, I think that this is going to be a really great solution to avoiding all of that other noise and nonsense that comes out of other types of devices. Okay, so lastly, I tried the Kobo's native notebook feature. I completely ditched the template and just used Kobo's actual built-in feature, a blank page, a stylus, no pre-made layout at all. And this is where the no images, no stickers limitation hits hardest, because now there's not even a placeholder for the cover. It's generally just me and blank lines. And this is also the fastest, but my handwriting looked like chicken scratch. It was so hard to write on the notebook. Not only that, every time that I put my hand on the page, it would just move up and down, and I felt like I was jumping around, which I didn't seem to get that same issue when I was using the PDF template. So I'm not really sure why it's like that for the notebooks page, but the PDF was definitely a better experience. Not having a template to line up to or no layout to respect, I just started writing the second I opened it, the same paragraph, and I could just simply write as if I was writing on a piece of paper, which is probably the closest you're going to get to writing on a piece of paper and having no additional things on it. But my take on that is that it's just not aesthetic, it's not fun, it's not cute, I don't like it. I would much rather have something visual. I'm a creative person and I need to see colors and brightness and fun and excitement. And I feel like I get that just alone from having the book cover and having little sections already placed out for me to know what I need to write, kind of like prompt starters or thought starters. So in comparison, if I lay all 3 of these ideas or these type of methods side by side, I think the iPad is still going to be the prettiest, no contest. That's where the actual cover art color and stickers and all those different things get to live, and it's just so much more fun. The Kobo PDF template, I think, is the closest thing to the best of both worlds. So it keeps that structured book journal look, but on a screen with way less pull towards distraction. So if you want your journal to look intentional but still want off your device for notifications, this is definitely going to be your sweet spot. I'm a really big fan of the Kobo, and for this case I simply exported my GoodNotes example PDF page that I actually purchased a reading journal from Etsy, and I exported that single page with the book cover already on it and just sent it to my Kobo. And I think if you wanted to use your Kobo primarily, you could just create an entire book journal with all the pages pre-created. Like for example, you might want to just do the month of July and say, here's my TBR, and I'm gonna make a book for my TBR for July, and here's all of the individual pages that will go into it, and send that to your Kobo. And then you could do that for every single month, and I think that would be the best solution if you wanted to just be off a traditional device. So that is something that I ended up doing, and I think it turned out really fun. I just need to get better at my handwriting on the Kobo because it's definitely a struggle. Also, the native Kobo notebook is going to be your fastest way to just jot your thoughts down, but it's not appealing to me. It's the least pretty, demands the most from your handwriting since there's no layout doing any of the visual work for you. So I don't know, I don't recommend using the notebook feature, even though it's supposed to be like the best feature added on to the Kobo. I just think that it's actually not worth it at all. You're probably better off just using an actual notebook than using that notebook feature. Price wise, if you already own an iPad, you really don't need to buy anything else. But if you're debating a dedicated device, then the Kobo is going to be a fraction of the cost of buying an iPad new, and that one device gets you 2 different journaling styles depending on which of these that you decide to use. Another great thing to note is that on the iPad, I have a custom font of my handwriting that I made, and I can hit a text box and I can do voice to text, and I could just simply read off my review of a book and it will type it up in my handwriting, and I can just place it in my journal notebook, and I think that's great. That's like one of the features that I really enjoy using on my iPad, and that's something I think Kobo would definitely benefit from, being able to do like voice to text. But that's one thing that makes me lean towards my iPad a bit more, but I just love the way it looks on my Kobo. So I'm genuinely 50-50 torn at the moment. My honest take is, if you want the pretty layouts, the covers, the stickers, stick with your iPad. That's generally what it's built for. But if you want that same structured, pretty look, but you need to just get off your device to actually do it, load that PDF template pre-made onto your Kobo. That was honestly the most surprising winner for me. And if you just want the fastest, most frictionless way to actually get your thoughts down with zero setup, then just using the Kobo's native notebook. It's going to be the one that you'll actually probably keep using more and more just for like quick notes. It just won't be as appealing as the others. A really fun bonus that I found out is that anything you write on your PDF in your Kobo stays there. If you were to take that PDF out of your device and drop it directly onto your desktop and open that PDF up, all of your handwritten notes are going to be there. So it's really fun and cool. I mean, obviously you get that same experience with your iPad as well. You can just export from GoodNotes, but obviously GoodNotes does have a subscription. With the Kobo, you can literally mark up any PDF and it stays marked up. So it's really fun and exciting way to annotate on pretty much anything and just keep track of your journals. And I really like that everything's just consolidated into the Kobo. Like, I just like that my Kobo is for books. I don't do anything else except read books, review books, annotate books, and just focus on books only on the Kobo. And then my iPad, typically I don't use for book journaling. My iPad mini is used primarily these days for work. Which one would you pick? Let me know in the comments, and thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed watching this, please go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe if you're brand new to the channel, and I will see you guys in another video coming up very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.